What's going on, everybody? How are we all doing today? I'm Go Veer, Go Home, and this is the Sunday brunch kit builds. Every Sunday, we show up and we do a couple of things. We can work on a kit. We work on the layout. Maybe there's a small section of the layout that needs some work. I will do some weathering or graffitiing of some rolling stock. A little bit of everything. That's what we try to do. You can see here, obviously, on your screen, I got a number of cars here in front of me. Some of them are half done. Some of them aren't done at all. We're gonna take a pick, and we're gonna work on a couple of them, and we're gonna try to finish them too, because it is what it is. You start something, you start a project, and then you kind of put it aside and you work on something else. It happens. Unfortunately, it happens. But yeah, we'll try something out here. We'll try a couple of things. And I've got these weathering powders that I just acquired recently. These ones here. So I did a couple of weathering things last week, right? I don't know if I can. Oh, I can. I totally can. So I'm going to show you. So I had weathered this car last week. It was already graffitied, but I did some weathering on it. I don't know if you can tell. And then I ended up sealing it afterwards. Yeah, you can see there's like a little bit of graffiti there. That's just a decal. And the same thing with this one here. That's just a decal as well. But I think it looks okay. It's too uniform, though. That's the problem, right? When you get into doing personalized stuff, you make it your own. And I'm going to show you a bit of a difference here. So I went on to railroadpictures.net or whatever it is, and I looked up this specific car here. And there was some graffiti on the side. So I traced it out to the best of my ability, keeping in mind, like, you got to cover where the numbers are and whatnot, which is what I did. And then I weathered it as well. Like, you can see there's weathering on the top and whatnot. And yeah, I used paint markers for that. And that's basically what the real car looks like, which to me, that's awesome. But I can only see one side. So on the other side, I grabbed a couple of decal ones. I didn't really do much of a custom job there, but then I did some light weathering just along the side there. Very light, nothing too crazy. And then last week, I wanted to do, was it last week? I don't know, it was a couple of weeks ago. I did one of these Rapido Procore. This is a GP20 tank car. I gotta be very careful because these things are crazy breakable. You can kind of see nothing too crazy there, right? Like, it's the only reason why that shine is there is because of the lights on the layout here next to me, but you can see somewhat of a light rust forming there on the top. And I also dirtied it up a bit as well. Just adding a bit more realism, not leaving it flat. If it's flat, then they all look uniform and too clean and doesn't look like the real thing. So I'm just I'm carrying on with that. I'm gonna do a bit more, and especially after watching Tim from They Make It Like That, like, he did this one for me, and I really like it. He gave this to me. It's almost been a year since he's been out my way. Yeah, he did great job on this. Go home for go via or go home, and subscribe. So that was real awesome of him to do that. Probably going to be the only silver button I get, right? But either way, yeah, no, it's super cool. and I really appreciate it. He did some great work on that, and of course, CN, right? CN Boxcar. So I really like that. So we'll just say hey to everybody. I know we're on here a little bit early. I think we went 15 minutes earlier than what I normally do. That's okay. Get all the fun stuff out of the way. Hey, Angela and Derek and Brian and John and Mark. How's it going, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? And for those hiding in the back, I see you. I don't know who you are, but I see you. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming by. Beverage. Okay. So, like I said, I've got a couple of cars here. You can kind of see. So this, I've got so many of these. Brian knows what I'm talking about. He probably has a bunch too. I have so many of these, and I go, like I said, I go on to railroadpictures.net or whatever, and I look up the reporting marks, which is the ONT, and then I look up to see if the car number is there. If there is a car with that number, and I can see the prototype photo, I usually copy that to my phone there so that I can come back and reference it so that I can copy whether the graffiti is, so that I can keep it as prototypical in that sense as possible. Now this one here, number 5087, we're going to do a little bit of an easier one. So it's just going to be weathering on this one. And again, nothing too crazy. But that's one option if you guys want me to work on that one. Let me know, ONR or GONS, you know. This is another one that I had started. So again, these all have the clear coats on them. Still a little shiny because of the light, but that's okay. I've got a little graffiti on there. Nothing too crazy. I'll probably weather this side. And this side is blank. So I probably want to do maybe a piece on this side here. Not sure what yet, but I've got a couple of ideas that I've been stewing with. So this is a TTX. I found the prototype photo of this one, and it's very boring. It's very plain. You know, I could just weather that as is, make the yellow a little less bright, because that yellow is very bright that Walters did on these. All good, though. But, yeah, I'm going to weather this one and possibly do some graffiti. So options so far, ONR or TTX. This one I've had for a while. I love this one. This is an Athearn ready to roll, and it was part of the Prime for Grime series. So as you can see, I did a whole bunch of graffitis on here, and I wanted to try. These are all decals. I wanted to see how realistic I can make this thing look just by doing the decals basically all down the side. So there's some that are on top of one another, some, you know, just like some tags and whatnot, but still keeping it almost pretty close to the prototype. So this is, I took a look at the prototype photo for this, and you know, there's like a light blue, and then there's one that's white that's covering it. It's not so much exactly what each of the graffitis say, but more or less the shape. And I wanted to keep the shape. So even on this side here, you can see there was a graffiti down below, and then someone tagged over it with something else. And then there's like a little signature up here. And then I like kind of weathered it. This was before I had my powders. I was using my chalks, which is okay. Still good, but yeah, I'm gonna probably use my powders or whatever for this, for like the rest of this, and I might even go over this side a little bit. But then I've got a couple more here. I don't know, nothing too crazy. I like how Athearn put the CN logo, but it got patched out basically. So that's really neat. I really like that. It came like that, so they made it like that. And I did a little bit of weathering on the end there. Of course, just the dirt marks going up, just to represent dirt getting thrown up there. And that side's clean. So literally half of this car is done and half is not. So it's, I think this was a GT or MWCX, either way. So far, your options are those three. And then I've got one more here, this very boring one. It's just a CN Athearn. I like to practice my graffiti and whatnot and my weathering on my cheaper cars. So this is just an Athearn ready to roll as well. CN, probably not going to do too much of this, maybe just a light weathering, if anything. And I've got some graffiti on that side. But this still needs to be weathered. So a couple of options for you guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what I should do. And then we'll do it. We'll probably do a couple, but yeah. And Perry, hey Perry, how's it going? Railroad pictures, yes, thanks Perry. I do that often. I do that. I've done that with a couple of my other gondolas. There was one I found the picture, and there was this black and white. It's all down the side here like this. You know, I'll grab it. I'll grab it because it's like literally right here. Ow. It's right here. So this is exactly how the prototype looks like. If you look it up, number 5095, that's how it looks. And that's what I try to do with my cars whenever I have a prototypical, like when I'm trying to do a prototypical. I just hate how the trucks are blue, and I can't get the trucks off. So for some reason, Rapido, when they, I guess when they did these cars, the trucks themselves, like the little screw, it's in there so tight that you cannot remove it. So I cannot even remove these trucks. It's a pain. You know, it sucks, but whatever. So yeah, that's basically, you know, and I don't know, the other side, very boring, very plain, but whatever. And this was just using chalks, right? And then I used, I guess, paint markers for that. But yeah, so I just want to do like a couple of different things, little neat things like that for these cars here. Rail box. And Mike, hey Mike, how's it going? Okay, so unless anybody else had seen something that they wanted me to do, so far I just saw Mark say that he wants me to do the rail box. So I'm okay with that. So for this one here, yeah, for some reason I've already painted the wheels. I've already done the rust on the wheels, but yeah. Oh, and I guess I forgot to do this. If anybody else is working on something, if you feel like joining me, keep the conversation to, you know, train-related stuff. If you have some tips or tricks that you feel that are very essential for sharing with the community, then absolutely you can go ahead, you can join, and you know, we'll share that information. So before I do anything, I do like to tape off a couple of things here with this. I'll probably tape off the number and the name. Hopefully that's long enough. Hopefully everybody, their week is going well. It's Sunday and start of a new week, but it is what it is. It's really humid outside today. I don't like it. I just got back from taking my wife to work, and yeah, really humid outside. Not a fan. So as you can see here, I'm taping off the number, and I taped off the T box. You can do this, or you can not do this. Totally up to you. Or if the prototype calls for it, sure, why not? If it doesn't, whatever. But in most cases, what certain railroads will do is they'll either, like if someone comes and graffitis over that, they're gonna either clean the entire car and get rid of all the graffiti, or they're just gonna patch out that one place there where the graffiti was. So that could be a pain, right? Because all your work gets, covered over. So what I would do in a case like this is that I would tape this off and then just kind of go around it, or just have this section here not as prominent as, let's say, this wider open section, especially if I'm doing like a custom piece here. And because I'm going to do some weathering and whatnot on this side, I think what I will do is I will just cover this. I'll be proactive here, and I'm going to cover this so that I don't have to come back after when I've already started. Because that was the thing that I didn't do last week. I was like, okay, let's start weathering this. Uh-oh, I forgot to tape all this off. Because I was in such a rush. Well, not rush. I was like, it's anxious. I'm anxious to do this and stuff. I like doing this. I think my favorite things to do is scenery stuff, and then do the weathering and the graffiti. So yeah, it happens. Well, these ones in particular, this one is a Walthers mainline, and they're not expensive to begin with, but I like them. I like them a lot. Not just because they're inexpensive, but they make such nice billboard cars. You can have a whole bunch, and also a lot of railroads use them. Like when I'm out in Smiths Falls there, rail fanning, there's a whole section of these, just a whole bunch, and they're all graffitied, and they all look great. But you'll also see them on many other different railroads as well. TTX is quite a popular company. Okay, neat. Now the only other thing I want to do, or would like to do, would maybe to keep the reflective striping, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think if anything, I'd come back and maybe add reflective striping after, over top of everything, but it's not really a make or break thing here. I don't specifically run one logo of anything unless it's like a primary railroad, right? So for example, if I'm running CN, I do prefer to have the zebra scheme, but like I just got a tier 4 Givo in the cn.ca, so I do have a lot of the cn.ca rolling stock as well. So I don't, it's nothing that I specifically do unless it's a major player like that. With ONR, I always run the chevron, the yellow with the blue chevron. It's my favorite of all the ONRs, but like, yeah, the leasers and whatnot, like, it doesn't really matter to me. These are just extra cars, fillers, if you will, just to make the train a little bit longer, a little bit more interesting, and yeah, I don't mind if they're all different. And I wish I could get a pencil out of here. Oh, I can. Cool. Okay. So I'm wondering, let's see. One thing I do like are cartoon characters. And one of my favorite cartoon characters is Felix the Cat. Now, for those who grew up in the 90s, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. Of course, there's lots of others, right? Like Donald Duck and all that, but everybody has their favorite, right? So. I'll go a bit wider with that. So I'm just drawing it on here first because it's all going to get covered anyways, so that doesn't really matter to me. Good morning, Robert and Bubs. And CP368. And Mike. I'm not sure if I said hi to Mike yet. Hopefully the proportions are correct here. It's one thing I often worry about when doing cartoons and whatnot. It's and hands. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. I know it's kind of upside down, but Getting there. It'll look better once I, color them in. I actually have a Felix tattoo on the right behind my ear, which is also just one of those things. Just kind of show you. Just walking along there, whistling. Oh, gotta add a tail as well, I guess, huh? That's what makes him a cat. There we go. I forgot the tail. Never forget the cat's tail. Focus, darn you. Anyways. So along with Felix here, because the cartoon, from what I remember, keeping in mind I was really young when that was on, it was very psychedelic, and I guess you could say parts of it were very trippy, because the cartoon style, especially from like the 1960s and all that, like early cartoons and whatnot, you could even refer to like I think they called it Steamboat Willie, but it was like one of the first Mickey Mouse cartoons. Very, weird. Lots of black and white, and yeah, no, just in general, it was just a very weird cartoon. But so you would normally have lots of fun colors and whatnot when it comes to doing this here, because when they did it in color, yeah, they did it, and it was very, very trippy, very, But let's see, how do we do this? So I guess we can do like, well, the car is yellow, so it's weird to do yellow on top of that, but I'm gonna, oh yeah, oh, he's definitely whistling. But I'm gonna see here, see how this goes. I've got these paint markers, and I'm just wondering how this color will look on this car. So if I can give him a yellow glow just around him, that'd be kind of cool. And almost do like a sunburst. Now these colors that I'm using here, they come from Michael's, which is our craft store, our version of a craft store. And this pack wasn't expensive. You get, all the major players here, your black, white, 2 silvers, red, orange, pink, purple, blue, 2 greens, and this toxic looking yellow. Okay, kind of cool. So it really highlights it, if I'm being honest. The one thing that's not very prominent with doing this specific kind of character is that it doesn't really have whiskers, which I always thought was weird. Especially for the fact that it's a cat. So. And because these are paint, obviously you want to be careful. You don't want it to run or anything like that. You don't want to smudge it either. So while I'm working on the outside, I'm just going to quickly do all the whites on the inside, and then I'll come back and I'll do the black after. Okay, and then the rest is going to be black, but there we go. But I'll probably highlight with the white again after that's done. So let's see. So I think whenever I've seen these cars, I always see bright pink graffiti all over them. And I think it looks really nice because it stands out really well, especially with the yellow. I don't know if you guys want to see so far. That's basically all I got so far, but it's very basic. Kind of looks like Garfield, not gonna lie. I swear it's supposed to be Felix, but yeah, he might look a little like Garfield right now. I hate Mondays. Am I right? What are you guys working on today? What's everyone doing? Is everyone chilling today? Is today just a chill day? Perry, are you working on something today? I didn't know if you were going to be joining or not. No pressure. But door's always open. I'm just kind of doing some type of swirl thing here. And I'm going to probably change that up and do a couple of different colors like this. But I got to wait till some of this dries. And in some cases, doing a second coat is not a bad idea, because the pink itself, even though it's bright, it still it's hard to work with. Same thing with the yellow. Too hot. Too hot to be doing anything. Well, I personally am freezing in my basement right now. I have a heater down here. I work in my basement, as well as this is my train area, right? And I have to put on the heater at night because it's so cold down here. It's probably because of the air conditioning, but yeah, it's not cool. Well, it's cool, but it's not cool that it's too cool. So I'm going to let that dry a little bit. I'm wondering if there's something I can put over here. If there's a phrase or saying or something. I have like references to things. Yeah, like that might be an idea. I might be able to do that. So this here, I took this photo when I was out in Smiths Falls last time, and it's on a tee box, not this specific number, but I really like that, and I showed Tim, and he really liked it too. So I might do this on the opposite side here, because I gotta fill that in, right? So I might do something like that on the other side. Now that is a lot of black, but I should be able to make this work. I just gotta, make it work, more or less. So I'm gonna go. Bring it right down. And it's gonna come up like that. I'm gonna tweak this after, because I'm going to tweak it as I'm going, but I just need to know the rough size here for this. It's mostly so I can just do the background first. It's such a big word. Oh. then that is followed up with an L. Hoping that I can make this entire word fit here without taking up too much real estate. Don't like this E. The E is weird. And I don't like how it's not all the same size, but that's okay. So I'll just bring that up like that and bring that down like that. Bring up there like that and have that start there. And that's going to go like that. Voila. And just the J now. Dr. J. Might have to cut over onto the door a little bit. But that's okay because I didn't go right over onto the ladder. And then I gotta just sort that area out. Okay. So that's cool and all. So I got the word on. So what I want to do now is I would like to do a black background for this entire thing. But because I roughly know the size now, which is good, I can kind of just shade most of that in. So I'm just gonna go like that, and most of this will be colored down here. So I'm just gonna color all of this in. If you see giant yellow splotches here, it's because that's just the tape. So I'm not going to go right on the tape. I'm not going to bother doing that. But everything else here will be black for the time being. Okay, some weathering powders too. Perry, I can recommend. I don't know if you like them or not. I like them. Monroe models. So I got a 8-pack for like $50 from OVR. Very nice. You get dark rust, medium gray, medium earth, dark earth, light rust, dirty yellow, grimy black, and chalky white. Very nice powders. Very easy to use. You get quite a bit in there, and it goes a long way. So. I think one of the biggest things when it comes to doing something like this is, not being worried that it's not going to turn out okay. And the only thing I can say is that you have to break a few eggs to make a good omelet, if I can say that. And I'm not saying that because it's the brunch build, although that would be a great tagline for this. But yeah, typically, a lot of people would say, well, I'm not, good at doing that, so I'm not going to bother doing it, or, I'd be too afraid to mess up a car. Start with the, the cheapy cars, cars that really won't, that don't cost an arm and a leg. Like, would I start off with a $100 auto rack? Probably not. I still haven't touched an auto rack, and I'm okay at doing this. I'm not like anywhere near professional, but I'm just having fun with it and trying out new things and whatnot. But yeah, starting with like a lot of these Walthers cars and Athearn. And yes, the odd Rapido car, but it's because I have so many. I gotta start doing that soon. Right? Just takes a little bit of confidence, and away you go. Okay, so covered it up. So once you draw on what you want, I'm doing the primary color behind that, which in this case, it's going to be a darker color because the other part is going to be much brighter. So let's see. What do we do now? So I guess I can do the Felix now. That should be dryish. Let's see. Hey Dwight, how's it going? And Derek? And James, how's it going, James? Just in case anybody does want to join, I know it's like it was earlier up in the chat there, but I'll just throw it up again. If anybody wants to join, then you're welcome to. So just gotta be careful I don't smudge all that. I wish I had a fine tip one because it would make doing this a little bit easier and I'd be a little less worried. Do I have a fine tip one? I don't think so. I don't think I have a fine tip one. So I have to add white highlights after, because just because of the shape of them here. Again, not perfect, but still need to add the little highlights for them. And then I got to continue on doing more details. If there wasn't so many ribs on this thing, it would be a lot easier. I didn't pick a flat enough boxcar. That should be okay. Okay, what's another color here that we can do? I think this orange would be okay. I don't even know if I've used this yet. I think I might have. I just don't remember. I definitely haven't used this purple yet. I'd love to add the bag as well, but there's only so much room, and then you're getting into finer detail, and these things don't have that sharp of a point to them, so it's difficult at that point. So probably have to wait actually on that. So this is what I got so far. I gotta do some more swirl on it and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna do some like nice silver over top of that, and then I gotta definitely wait for all this to dry before I go over top of that. So I'm gonna work on another car while I'm waiting for all this to dry on this one. I think I'm going to weather this one a bit because it's a nice one. So what number was that? 5087. 5087. So this here is the car. Again, it doesn't look like much. It's just dirty, right? The ends are really dirty. And the side is like, you know, kind of dirty as well. But it still remains and it keeps that blue. And it's mostly grime on there. So dark earth. And I don't see a lot of rust on there. Dirty yellow. Could probably do some of that on there. Okay. I would like that won't hold it. Not a big deal. Gotta pull out the sponges. I'm gonna use some sponges for this. And I think I'm gonna start with the lightest color, which would be the dirty yellow. I'm mostly going to put this over wherever it's yellow. That includes the lettering, and I'm going to have to do the ends with that as well. But I'm going to also go over it with the darker colors as well. Yes, I know I should be wearing gloves, but I don't have any that are specifically for doing this stuff. So I'm not going to worry too much about it because I will just wash my hands after anyways. Now, the yellow doesn't take too well to the darker color, but it does make it look a little bit like it is worn, or like that it's running, that it ran downward, which I guess is okay. It's an okay effect, but it doesn't do enough to really give it this really amazing look. But we'll see how it turns out once the whole thing is done, as opposed to just putting the yellow on. I'll kind of show you here too. So that's kind of like what it does there. So I'm just putting it over the yellow, because obviously that's where the yellow would be. And I did a little bit on the end, but you can't even really tell. So not a huge deal with that, but we will keep chugging along. I guess it does seem a little bit darker than the other side here, which hasn't been touched yet. And I'm brushing downward because, let's say if it rained or whatever, the rain runs downward. The gravity pulls the paint downward. You're not going to see the paint going upward, right? So we're doing that. Okay. I know it's not going to make that big of a difference, but I'm going to do it anyways. What really makes the biggest difference is the grime and the rust. So I'm really hoping that side of it turns out a lot better, but we will see. We'll see what happens here. So the next thing I probably want to do will be the dark earth, which is kind of like dirt. And I'm just making sure my seals are cut here because I didn't use all of them last time. So there we go. Okay, so new sponge. And this here is going to be different because this goes literally down the whole thing. And I don't have to tape any of these off because you're going to get grime on everything. You're going to get grime on your reporting marks. You're going to get grime on the top, on the bottom, you name it. Going to get grime on the ends, on the trucks. What I'll do is I'll do half the car. I'll go up to here, and then I'm going to show you the difference between the two so that you can see for yourself how much of a difference just adding the grime part of it is. And what I really like, I like putting it right at the top, because I might even add a bit of rust there. I might come back and add a bit of rust, because the right along the top, top edge of it, is where things will hit the sides, and it'll bang right up here, right? And they've got a lid. The cover that I have hits that and drags it and whatnot. So I think that the place that it's going to make most of the rust, most of the impact, will be right along the top there. Now, I've heard of a thing that you can do actually, where you're basically you put a hairspray on it, and then the hairspray clumps, and then when you put this over it, you just wait for it to dry, and then it peels off after. I've done something similar with the baking soda. If I like this a lot, I'm probably gonna re-weather my 2 cars or 2 or 3. I can't remember how many I did, but my 2 or 3 cars that I graffitied. Okay, so I'm just going to show you this real quick here. I'm going to show you what half this car looks like when I did the grime on there. Again, I don't know if you can tell. This might be one of those things where in person, you can tell a little bit better. So over here, clean, right? Not so much. But then when you go over to this side, you can see obviously the chevron has the dirt going down. And I'm just using the dark earth color for that. Nothing crazy. It's just, that's just one layer there. So I come back and I'm going to keep going along. And again, some of this might be heavier, some of it might be lighter. And there's even some of these cars here where you can't even tell that it says O&R or anything like that. So that's also kind of cool. So here, let's kind of do, I kind of want to get rid of that a little bit. There we go. The camera isn't picking all of it up. It isn't really doing justice for how it looks in real life, but hopefully you get the overall concept of it there. Okay, so I'll leave that for a minute, and I'm going to take a bit of the rust, dark rust, light rust. It's too orangey, so I'm gonna go with the dark rust on this one. And I'm gonna do a very fine level of rust on here. It's gonna be on the top. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the live. Let me know if there's something that you would like to see, and if I can't do it today, maybe in a future video I can do that. By the way, I'm doing this rust dry right now. I'm doing a dry run of it, just because when you do wet it, it does do like it gets heavy once you wet it. So I'd probably do that along the top, but just for the sides here, just to start, I don't think I need a lot of rust here. Thanks, Mike. I always appreciate the feedback. Can't really tell that there's rust on there. So I'll tell you what. So because I told you I'd be doing rust on the top, so I add a bit of water. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna thin that out some more. Funny thing with these cars is that you have to do the insides too, so it's like it's a lot more with these something like this here than just the sides and the ends. Again, it doesn't really do justice for how it actually looks, so I think I'll add some pictures to my Instagram once they dry and I do the clear coat on them, and then that way you'll see a better looking photo of it. And yeah, I mean, here's a comparison. Like when you see the normal, that's just the normal side there. Like I did the yellow on there, not a big deal, but the blue is still the same. And then when you flip it, it's dirtier. I want to do a bit more on the chevron itself though, but I think I'll wait for the Grimy Black for that. Like I said, with these trucks here, it's such a pain because I can't get these trucks off. And it's not like it's just one that's like that. They're all like that. I cannot get any of these trucks off. So, again, kind of a pain. What can you do, right? Well, just weather them while they're on the darn car, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't. From here, it doesn't look like I weathered anything. But then, like when you go like right up close to it, you know, you can kind of. See. Okay, and now for the Grimy Black. So this here, typically, I would do just like the dirt. So you want to have it lower on the actual car. You see, I'm just taking some. It's right on the end of my sponge, and I'm just right along there, right like that. And I just brush it off. And I think I want some up here as well. Okay, does that look any different? Probably not. Still probably does not look any different. Although, like when I'm looking at this with my eye, it's like that looks like super weathered. Like that looks like it's heavily weathered. So I don't know. Okay, so we're coming back with this. We're gonna do the ends because they're supposed to be super dirty. Okay, now you can kind of tell there, right? Compared to that, huge difference, right? Huge difference. I think that with this, I would do just a tiny bit of rust. And I think I already have some on here, so I'm just gonna do that. Rust is harder to see on the yellow, so I'm not too concerned. And then I take my Grimy Black, do my wheel marks. Oof. You know what? I prefer the brown. Make sure you do all your little grab irons as well, because that's important. Do you guys weather the underside of the vehicle? Or not the vehicle, I mean, you don't really see it, right? Like, I think if it sticks out, then sure, why not? But if it doesn't, then I don't think it's a huge deal. You know, just... Okay, whatever. I'll do the side now. So I did the yellow. So then, yeah, brown. So let's see here. So... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot that, like, the announcement went live for that. So, yeah, September 10th, Otter Valley is doing the annual thing where manufacturers go out and they set up tables and whatnot, and Intermountain's going to be there. I'm pretty stoked about that, because Intermountain has some really good stuff. So it'd be nice to see what kind of new stuff that they have on the way, or if they're going to announce anything at the Otter Valley thing. Rapido will be there. I always see Rapido though, so it's not as big of a deal because Rapido's like everywhere. But I will most likely be going to that. So hopefully see you guys there. That'd be cool. Brian, come hang out for the day. I think there's going to be also a presentation or some presentation of some sort closer to the end of the day, which will be really neat. Whoop. Free samples? Yeah, I wish. I'll be giving out high fives that day. High fives, if anybody's interested. Whoops. Rust. Yeah, for those who are interested in going or you want more information, I'll have some more information for you soon. I usually like to talk about that stuff on the GVO After Dark, especially with the fact that it's like not even a week or so after it. So stay tuned for that. Just kind of show you this here. Okay, so actually, do I want to add any? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to add some darkness to that. Okay, so maybe just a little bit to the inside now, and then that one's good. Then I can put the clear coat on it, and then it's good. So the insides of these are usually rusted out and dirty because of the stuff that they put in them. So can't really go wrong here. And yeah. I think next month or so is going to be pretty exciting because with everything going on, I'm going out to Woodstock next week, or this week, I guess you could say. So lots of driving there. And then I've got Mike and James coming out early next month. Going to do some rail fanning. So if you're in the Ottawa area and you want to go rail fanning, reach out. Let me know. Because we will be out and about. Or as we say up in Canada, oot and a boot. We don't actually say that. I'd like to put loads in these at some point. Still got to do the inside on that one there, but if I swap it around, turn it like that. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's good, and I might just add a little light rust to it as well, just for good measure, because I can, and I think it would be neat. Just to, because it's such a dark car, right? You don't want to put too much. But you want to add that layer of depth to it where it's like, oh, it's not just one color, because the real rust is not just one color. A little on the outside, good measure. Again, it's so hard to tell in this lighting, but 10 times better. Now, this is the old one that I did, and we're just going to do a side-by-side comparison. So this one here has more of a, yeah, like it looks boring. Looks so dull. It doesn't look like it was weathered. And then this one here with the actual rust color in there. So I think I'm going to just slightly change this. And which one did I use? So I'm literally changing the way that this entire car looks just by making it way darker, and I like it 10 times more. Why didn't I do this the first time? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I don't know about these. Don't make the same mistake I did and just get the dark rusty stuff. Chalks are okay. Like, don't get me wrong. Use what you got, right? But if you ever have the opportunity to get a darker color and make it look more realistic, then I would take that approach. I don't even think I did the ends on this car. Okay, well, the inside looks a heck of a lot better, and it's worse for wear. Okay, so because I obviously did some new stuff with this one here, I'm going to want to obviously do a clear coat on this one as well, because yeah, just the fact that I changed that, and I'm way happier with this car now. Like, oh, wow, okay, so yeah, neat. Like I said, I'll do some photos of these once I do the clear coat on it and they dry a bit. Um, this changes how the entire car looks. Yeah. Cool beans. Cool beans. All right. Well, that's enough for me today. I didn't get to finish this one here, but you know what? We'll be back. We'll be back next week, and we will do some more stuff. I'll probably finish this one off, little Felix there, and the words on this side. So don't worry about that. We'll get this done, and then we'll weather it. We have to weather both sides of it. So lots more to do. Lots more. So stick around for that. Ooh. If I can only get it on the rails. There we go. Whoops. And then I have to obviously do the clear coat on these. So I'll post some pictures to my Instagram and my Facebook once those are done, and you can actually see the difference in how much better they look now. And then maybe you want to pick up your own weathering powder, Monroe models. Like I said, OVR has it. It's like $50, and you get eight of these tubes together in a pack. Or I think you can buy individuals, but man, I just bought all of them. It's easier. And then I use these sponge things here. These are makeup sponges. I got these at the dollar store. You get a whole bag. I'm gonna have to get some more because I go through. I mean, I use one per color, and I used at least 5 colors on just these cars. So yeah, you can use a brush if you want, but whatever. Anything else? Anything else? I think that's about it. Thanks, Derek. I know I probably missed a whole bunch of comments because I was like focused, overly focused. But either way, I'll go back. I usually go back and check the comments. Yeah, you got like, I don't know how many in total. You must have gotten over 30 of those barrel ore cars. That's crazy. I think I've got about 18, 19, 20. I got about 30, but it's a mixture of like Sylvan scale models and Rapido for the ore cars. Very fun to build, but at the same time, very, very painful if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah. Dan. Hey, Dan. How's it going? To be honest, there's not much here, and it's a mixture of, 5 or 6 colors. I'm probably just going to fold it up and throw it out, for me to pick through, and, this is going to probably go in the garbage here, if I'm being honest. It's just easier that way. Easy cleanup, right? This is not a permanent work spot, and even if it was a permanent work spot, I would want to keep it as clean as possible, but still maintaining the fact that I do messy things, right? I deal with the weathering stuff. I paint things, and it is what it is. But that was easy cleanup, right? So, other than that, maybe I should weather a building at some point. That'd be cool. I'll save these cars for later. I have so many cars that I have to weather still. Who knows? I might do an auto rack soon. That would be cool. But because they're like $100 auto racks, I'm starting with the small stuff, and I'm gonna work my way up. I'm gonna try different techniques and whatnot, and see if I can progress at all. And I really like it though. I think it's fun. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching. And okay, so I'm off, or I'm away on Wednesday, so I'm out of town. So I might do another live on Tuesday. So that's in 2 days. Might run some trains or something to make up for the fact that I can't do that on Wednesday. So we might see you then. And then we're over on Mark's channel Thursday night for Third Rail Thursday. I know it's my week, but like I said, I'm out of town this week. So we're switching. So he's this Thursday, and then I'm next Thursday. So we'll be over on Mark's channel this Thursday night for Third Rail Thursday, and we'll be back here next Sunday where we're going to weather something. Maybe I'll finish one of my cars, do a bit more work or something. But I really appreciate you guys for watching, and we'll see you real soon. But I have a train to catch. See ya.